Hey everybody, Miss A, and I'm here with a video on line plots. So I had a kid ask me about a video on this, so I want to go over kind of what you'll see when it comes to line plots. So a student will not have to make a line plot, they'll be given the information, so just like we have here. Some of the questions that may be asked with line plots might be, we need to understand how this works. So let's say that this is distance walked by students. This is the distance walked by students, and this represents the number of students. All right, so some of the questions that may be asked when it comes to a line plot is how many students participated in the walk? So that might be a question. How many students participated in the walk? So when we're asking a question of how many students, we look to the x's. If it were to ask something about the distance, we would look to the fractions to figure out how far. So to answer this particular question, how many students participated in the walk, we would count the number of x's to get that answer. So that's 1, 2, 3. 3 students did this amount. 2 students, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 students participated in the walk. Period. So that would be the answer to that question. Another question may be how many students walked further than 2/4 of a mile. So this particular one, we are still looking at the x's, but we have to look further than 2/4. So 1/4 is less than, 2/4 is equal. So it's all of these that are greater distance than 2/4, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6, and the number's less than 10, so you have to write it out. 6 students walked further or farther than 2/4 of a mile. Period. So that's how I'd answer that question. Another question may be, what is the difference between, 2 E's, between the greatest distance walked, and the shortest. So this is talking about distance, so we're looking here. This is my shortest distance, this is my greatest distance. So 4/4 minus 1/4. It doesn't matter how many did that, it just wants to know what is the difference between the furthest one student walked and the shortest one student walked. And that equals, denominator stays the same, 4 minus 1 is 3. So 3/4 of a mile, Another question that may be asked is, what is the total distance walked for these class? What is the total distance walked for the class? So this particular problem is taking the distance times the number of students. So this is a several step problem. So the first one here is 1/4 times 3, because there's 3 students. So 3 times 1/4, which equals 3/4. 2 times 2/4, which equals 4/4. 4 times 3/4, which equals 12/4. And 2 times 4/4, which equals 8/4. And then once I have the distance for each increment done, then I'm going to add them together. So that is 3/4 plus 4/4 plus 12/4 plus 8/4 equals, denominator stays the same, 3 plus 4 is 7, 7 plus 8 is 15, and 15 plus 12 is 27. So 27/4 miles. And I say miles because 27 is greater than 4. All right, these are some of the questions that might be asked on a, let me move this up a little bit, some of the questions that will be asked when it comes to line plots. I'm going to go ahead and give you another line plot, and I want you to use the same questions to practice. Let me make sure it says, okay, here we go. All right, so the questions are, what is the difference between the shortest and longest distance walked? What is the total distance walked by the class? Which distance was walked the least? How many students participated in the walk? All right, I hope this video helps. Thanks for watching. This is Online Plots.